Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. It's my first book by Rick Riordan. It ain't take long to read at all. It's not a long book. And most of the book is different from the movie. Generally the same things happen, but the way they played out is very different. The movie start off with telling you essentially that this is a movie about Poseidon's son. Whereas in the book, we don't know which god is Percy's parent. Because in the book, when you get to camp, it's 12 different cabins. You don't know which one of the major 12 Olympians is your other parent. That's something you have to find out when you first get to camp, or the parent could claim you, which doesn't normally happen. We don't actually know who Percy's father is at first. And any of the demigods who don't know whose offspring they are, they go to Hermes' cabin. That's where all the travelers and the newcomers who don't know who their god parent is go. They go in the Hermes cabin until they find out. When they do find out, they can go to the cabin that corresponds with their parent. In the book, Percy actually didn't find out who his dad was until the capture the flag game. And it was different. Him, Annabeth, and Luke were all on the same team. It was Captain Ares versus Captain Athena. One of Ares' daughters, the leader of their cabin, was Clarice. Captain Athena was being helped out by Captain Hermes, with Athena's cabin leading. That's why Percy and Luke was helping her. Ares' daughter Clarice was handling Percy. She was beating his ass. And then he touched the water and he healed. And after the end, Annabeth told him to do it again just to see what would happen. And when he did it, a green trident appeared over his head, which basically meant Poseidon claimed him. He went out of his way to show everyone that Percy was his son. Going through the book, Percy had sent a message to the gods, and Grover said they're not gonna like that. They gonna think you're impertinent. Percy said, I am impertinent. He looked at Annabeth like, yeah, go ahead and say something. And she ain't say nothing. I said, okay, Percy, you bold. In the book, again, instead of fighting Luke on the rooftop, he fought Ares at the beach, though Ares wasn't in his true form, because if he was, Percy would have disintegrated just by looking at him. They still fought, which was much more interesting than him versus Luke. And when he did reach Mount Olympus, him and Poseidon had a little father-son moment, which is my favorite part of the book. If you don't know much about Greek mythology, there's going to be a couple things you miss. So I say you have to do a little bit of research alongside reading it, which I enjoy. I like doing shit like that. I'm actually interested in what's going to happen to him, Annabeth, Grover, Luke, and Luke's dad, Hermes. Ready to see what's going to happen to all of them.